Okay, ready to dive into something kind of juicy? We all know gossip gets a bad rap at parading. But what if I told you there's a flip side? That it can actually be useful?
It's true. We tend to think of gossip as negative, but it's a huge part of how we build relationships, figure out who to trust. I mean, it even helps us navigate tricky social situations, believe it or not.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today with this book, The Surprising Benefits of Gossip. Honestly, even before I cracked this thing open, I had no clue just how much people gossip.
Oh, it's everywhere. This book drops a crazy stat over 90%, that's right, 90% of people in workplaces think US and Western Europe, they're all gossiping. And get this, about an hour every single day.
Well, hold up an hour. That's like having a whole other gig. Makes you
Yeah.
wonder, if that many people are doing it, maybe it's not just meaningless chatter.
You got it. For ages, research was all about the downsides of gossip, but now we're starting to see how crucial it is for understanding why humans act the way they do. It's like this hidden code, unlocking how we form groups, how we build those connections.
Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind. So, how are researchers even studying this? What's the new angle?
They're zeroing in on the people involved, the one gossiping, the one listening, even the poor soul who's the target. Picture it like a triangle, each person affecting the others, and that shapes how the gossip plays out.
Okay, I like that. Like a play, three main characters, each with their own motives, right?
Exactly. Say you've got two coworkers. They're bonding over how much their other coworkers, let's just say, interesting lunch choices, bug them. This totally trivial gossip. It actually can make their bond stronger. And get this, it might even, without anyone saying a word, reinforce those unspoken office rules.
It's wild how these tiny things can cause ripples. Makes me think of that saying, the things we complain about together.
Bring us closer together, you know it. But gotta remember, not all gossip is made equal, right?
Yeah, huge difference between harmless office talk and spreading nasty rumors. So, how do we crack the code? Figure out why someone's gossiping in the first place.
That's the gossiper's dilemma right there. Are they trying to get closer to the person they're talking to, putting the target down, or maybe trying to get ahead somehow? People are complicated.
Sounds like a whole psychology class just waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So it's not always about being mean.
Nope, not at all. Research actually shows most gossip is true, especially when the person spilling the tea doesn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. Maybe they're just trying to figure things out, give someone a heads up, or yeah, even just connect.
So it's like social currency. What we share, what we hear, it all has value in our different circles.
Bingo. And just like money, you can use it to build something good, that trust, those alliances, but start spreading lies or rumors that'll hurt someone, that's going to cost you, devalue you in the long run.
Makes sense. It's all about how we use it
Right.
and the impact, good or bad. Okay, but how do we, the ones listening to all this, how do we make sense of it? How do we tell if it's legit or just BS?
That's where you got to be smart about it, right? Can't just buy into every little tidbit like it's the honest truth.
Yeah, it's like that game, Telephone. By the end, the story's totally different. But unlike a silly game, believing gossip, spreading it when it's not even true, that can have real consequences. So how do we become better at spotting the truth? Any tips?
Start by asking yourself the right questions, right? Why am I hearing this? Does it line up with what I already know about these people? And, this is the big one, what's missing from this story? What's not being said?
You can't just sit there and soak it all in. You got to be part of the conversation. But like a thinking part, got to look at who's talking, what their angle might be, right?
100%. And here's the thing. Gossip, it thrives where there's not enough info. Think about it when we're unsure about something, especially somewhere new, we're more likely to listen to those whispers, fill in the blanks ourselves.
Makes sense. Like imagine starting a new job, totally new world, new rules, who's got the power. It's a lot. Gossip, it's almost like you get a cheat sheet to office politics.
Nailed it. Like, who's really calling the shots? Which projects are worth your time? That gossip, even just a snippet you overhear, could give you clues that normally take you months to figure out.
So it's like you get a shortcut, but, big but, that shortcut might lead you astray if it's not accurate.
Exactly. And this isn't just about work, you know? Think about moving to a new city or joining a new group. You listen to the grapevine, even if you don't get involved. It can tell you a lot what's normal here, what are the expectations, even what opportunities are out there.
It's like this deep down human thing, right? We want to understand our surroundings, find where we fit in. Gossip, in a weird way, helps us crack that code.
It's amazing how it's like this tool for navigating the social world, especially for people who might not have access to, the usual limits of getting power or information.
So true. If you're from a group that's often pushed to the margins, navigating spaces that aren't built for you, that's even tougher. Gossip, it can give you insights, connections that you might not get otherwise.
Exactly. It can even things out a bit, offer different routes to understanding and influence. But gotta remember, even when we mean well, gossip can perpetuate biases, spread things that just aren't true.
Such an important point.
Mm,
Just because it's being whispered doesn't make it the truth. We can't forget about misinformation, especially when we're talking about sensitive topics or people.
no doubt. We gotta be a little skeptical, right? Question what we're hearing and check our own biases while we're at it.
It's this balancing act, using those insights gossip can give us, but always knowing it can trip us up.
Mm.
Got to be careful, critical about the information we're taking in.
100%. It's like anything powerful, take fire. You can use it to stay warm, cook your food, but handle it wrong. You get burned, things get destroyed. Gossip's the same. Used right, it builds connections, shares important stuff, even helps us deal with tricky situations. But add malice, misinformation, it can wreck
There's a
things.
real tightrope walk, right?
Mhm.
We want to be in the loop, but we also don't want to get fooled by lies or spread harmful stuff.
Mhm.
How do we balance that?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's about realizing that gossip, it's complicated. We can't just write it off as all bad or be all in on it. Got to be thoughtful, strategic.
So instead of this black and white view, gossip's bad, we should see it as this thing with upsides and downsides. It's about going in with your eyes open, questioning what you hear.
Exactly. Think of it like any powerful tool, like fire. You can use it to stay warm, cook right, but handle it wrong. Someone gets burned, things go up in flames. Gossip's the same way. Used right, it can build connections, spread info that needs to be out there, even helps us navigate tough spots. But mix in bad intentions, wrong information. Watch out.
That's a powerful image. You're right. It's not about pretending gossip doesn't exist. It's about
Right.
understanding it and using it the right way.
Right on. And part of using it the right way is looking at our own role in it all. Are we helping to build trust, understanding, or are we accidentally spreading rumors, false stuff? It's something to think about.
For sure. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of gossip, any last words for our listeners? What's the one thing you want them to walk away with?
Here it is. Gossip, even with its bad reputation, is just part of being human. It's how we make sense of the social world, connect with each other, deal with how complicated relationships are. The key is to be aware, be critical, and yeah, be a little skeptical.
Be a smart gossip consumer, not just letting it all wash over you. Love that. This has been eye-opening, seriously. It's amazing how something we think is so small, so trivial, can tell us so much about how we operate, what we want, even who we are.
It really makes you wonder, what are people saying about us right now? And more importantly, how are our own words, the gossip we spread, shaping the world around us?
Now that's a question to end on. Seems like gossip, in some way, is always going to be part of life. But by understanding it, why people do it, what can go wrong, we can choose to participate in a way that's, well, smart and responsible. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the surprisingly wild world of gossip. Until next time, keep your ears open, your BS detectors on high alert, and your gossip game strong but ethical.